And you know, still, I think growth is the central issue that we all face. So when you turn around to the banking sector and you look at where they've been during that post-war period, what do you see? Well, by and large, what you see is a gradual shift on the part of banks from financing commerce, which was 2/3, 3/4 of their balance sheet at the end of World War II, to today, where 2/3 to 3/4 of the exposure in the entire banking system comes from housing. How's that make you all feel? Okay? Now, housing is wonderful. We all know that. The American dream, right? But it's not a particularly productive asset. I mean, it's an expense more than anything else, and it's a joyful expense. But it doesn't help you grow national wealth, and it certainly doesn't drive exports necessarily. In fact, we're importing a lot of products that we use to buy homes now. You may have read about the Chinese wallboard that was used down here in Florida and some other southern states to bad effect, I think. They had to abandon the homes and bulldoze them into a waste site. But the point I'm trying to make is that because our banking system has gotten so concentrated in what is essentially domestic consumption, that when that big demographic boom, those baby boomers, went through the 70s and the 80s, it all looked good. I mean, we had a period of almost 35 years where the collateral that underlies a large portion of the assets in our banks was going up every year. You didn't even see the natural default experience in the portfolio, because if Joe died and the house went into default inadvertently, the bank would take the house and sell it and they'd make money. Joe would get a check for his estate. That's different today. What do we have with banks today? We have a situation where loss given default in the industry, which is how we measure these things at my firm, is close to 95% on all loans for all banks. During the boom, loss given default for many large US banks was less than 50%. That's extraordinary. For small community banks, it was down in the 30s. Now, what did most of these banks make loans on? Homes. When the home went bad, they'd take the collateral and sell it. I remember in 2005, Washington Mutual was actually reporting negative defaults. In other words, they were making more money on recoveries than they were in terms of expenses on charge-offs. And we wrote about this, and I raised my hand in the industry among my analyst companions. I said, this is a red flag.